Good morning, students. This is in continuation with the previous 3 lectures on electric field. We are talking about the conductors, behavior of the conductors in the electric field. As we have done about the electric field lines, which are always perpendicular to the surface. So electric field lines, they are perpendicular to the surface of the conductor, because as we have discussed earlier, if we are not taking it perpendicular, it means it is making some angle. And when it is making some angle, then in that case, you have to have a horizontal component. And this field component, it means it is going to exert the force, because force is given by charge into the field. Charge into the field, so it means it will be having some acceleration along the x-axis, so it will start moving along the x-axis. So when it starts moving along the x-axis, it means what? That the charge is in motion. It means we have to talk about the current, but we are dealing with electrostatics. So in electrostatics, charge cannot move, charge has to be at rest. And when it has to be at rest, it means the horizontal component should be 0. So all the field which is acting is always vertical component, that is perpendicular component. So this is to conclude that electric field always acts perpendicular to the surface of the conductor. This is a spherical symmetric surface with you. And at every point the field has to act perpendicular outside the conductor, because the charge is here positive. So this is again to show the electric field. In place of field lines, now we are using the word electric field. Electric field is always perpendicular to the surface of the conductor, and it is outside the conductor. It is outside the conductor, it means inside the conductor there is no field. So this we have to study further, that net charge is lying on the surface of the conductor. Net charge, it always resides on the surface of the conductor. It means inside the conductor, whether it is hollow or solid, no field is there, because field is coming perpendicular outside. For the positive charge, it is outside the conductor, and inside field is 0, because charge always resides on the surface of the conductor. If I am having two spherical surfaces like this, here the negative charge is there and here it is positive charge, then of course the direction of the field will be always from positive to negative. This is by the knowledge of field lines. We are saying lines are always positive to negative, but they will not go inside the conductor. So inside the conductor, no field is there, because charge is always lying on the surface of the conductor. And on this you may get many applications. This phenomenon of protecting the body inside the conductor body, that is known as electrostatic shielding, and it has found many applications in daily life. Like when there is thunderstorm, you are suggested to be inside the car in place of being under the tree, because car is a metallic body and it is going to protect you from that lightning which is there by the nature. So you can protect yourself from the electric field by putting yourself inside a metallic conductor, that if of course hollow it is, then you are able to protect yourself. Similarly, many things, many wires, many electronic devices, they are also protected in the same way by keeping them inside the metallic spheres, hollow spheres you can put them. So this is about the electrostatic shielding, and you have to again notice that net charge is always lying on the surface of the conductor. Next point says that electric field at the surface of the charged conductor is proportional to surface charge density. Surface charge density we have already studied, that is sigma, which is equals to Q upon A. And the value of electric field also you have studied. E is given by the charge divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R square. So if I am decreasing the value of R, the value of charge, it increases for electric field, and you can have more electric field at the pointed place. This has also found many applications in daily life. Like we can put a pointed pillar here on the roof, so that whenever thunderstorm is there, lightning will pass, pointed charge will be able to collect it and will pass it to the ground, because this is a conductor body. So what it is, electric field at the surface is proportional to the surface charge density, and it means if I change the area, then the value of field is getting changed. At the pointed places, the value of field is more, and otherwise if the places are flat, then the value of charge is going to be distributed like this. But inside the conductor, there is no field. This is just to show, like we have done with the induction. In the previous lectures, we have done with the induction method, that if the charge, we are bringing some charged body near it, then what happens here, if it is positive charge, here the negative charge is getting induced, and on the other side positive charge is getting induced. So these are the bound charges, induced charges, these are which are getting there inside the conductor, but they are simply bound charges. So this is the direction of the electric field, and electric field, you can see it is not uniform because the shape is not uniform. If this shape I make it uniform, I take a cubical structure or a sphere, then the field will become uniform. But you have to take care that field is always perpendicular to the surface. And but the value is going to get changed because we have done more field lines, means more stronger the field is. Electric field is proportional to the density. So more closer they are, it means the field is more stronger. So this you have to see, when they are more closer means strong is more, your electric field is more strong, and the field is getting deviated here because of the pointed nature. Because the point here is that electric field is directly proportional to the surface charge density. So this is all about the application. Again, you can have for the pointed charges, we can have the pointed areas, and there we can have the stronger field. We can collect the field, we can distribute the field depending upon what way we want to deal up with the things. But you have to keep in mind that in conductors, electrons, they can move, they are free to move. This is again to show you the same thing. When an uncharged metal sphere is brought in uniform electric field. Now what is happening? I'm having a uniform electric field, but I'm just bringing it inside it. I'm bringing an uncharged conductor. So field lines will get deviated the same way as I have explained in the previous slide, that because of this your uncharged conductor, when the charges are getting collected here, because of that only the field lines will transform itself like this. But of course every point it has to be perpendicular, and this process is termed as electrostatic or electric induction. So equal charges of opposite sign, they are appearing here on the surface. It is on the surface only, but to show it is kept just in slightly inside, but it is, they are induced on the surface itself. You have to keep it this thing in mind, that charge always resides on the surface of the conductor, not inside. Inside there is no charge, no field is there. So whenever we are putting it in the electric field, charge is getting induced. Like we brought the charged conductor near to the uncharged conductor, we were able to induce the charge. Same thing is there. Now in place of bringing the charge, we are keeping the electric field, because this is a convenient way with us to show the things, that electric field. But of course electric field is generated because of the electrostatic force. So all the things are related. Once you have understood the force, then field is not a problem, and you can just make the things clear in your mind, that what is happening. This is again another way to show you the behavior of the conductors in the electric field. Like I am having this as a conductor, like we have taken earlier. Now point charge it is, and the charge is lying on the surface of the conductor itself, and field lines are moving outward, always perpendicular at a point. Now if I am bringing an uncharged conductor here in its influence, then what will happen? The charge will get induced, because here it is positive charge, so negative charge will come on this surface and positive charge will go on the farther end. So what will happen? This way the induced charges will be there and the field cannot pass through the conductor. So field has to be go like this, of course perpendicular at every point, but from here you can see the field lines are always moving from positive to negative, and from positive they always tend to move in the upward direction. This is just to make your concept stronger for the electric field, and further we are adding the electric field, that in the presence of electric field how the field lines are getting affected. Again, the another way to show you the same thing, that here I am having a metal shell which is shielding the inside. Whatever is to be kept, we can keep it here because electric field will be 0. But even if I put it in the uniform electric field, the field lines will get transformed according to the induced charges and they will be always perpendicular to the surface. Charge is always residing on the surface. These are the properties of the conductor when they are kept in the electric field. So you have to keep this thing in your mind, that there is no field inside the shell cavity either, no matter how thin the shell may be. It means we can shield a part of the space from the electrostatic fields, and this we have already discussed. This protection is termed as electrostatic shielding. So you should be aware of electrostatic shielding and its applications. You will be writing it yourself. These are few questions which I have collected from your NCERT only, that which of these is correct. By looking at the diagram, you have to decide which of these diagrams is correct. So here you can see the conductor is there, but field lines are not drawn perpendicular properly. So this is not correct. And here of course from positive they are coming out and they are ending at positive. Again, it is again not correct. In this case, this is the same diagram which we have discussed for two like charges, that they get the lateral displacement in the perpendicular direction. So this is correct. From positive they are moving out and lateral displacement is also being shown. So this part is correct. So C part is correct, and this is your wrong. You can say this is wrong, this is also wrong, this is correct, and here the lines are intersecting each other, so this is not correct, and here also this is not correct because they are showing you the closed loops. They are showing you the closed loop, so you should be able to make out the things that which of these diagrams is correct, and you should be able to give the reason as well. Here it is negative charge getting in is correct, positive charge coming out is correct, but inside they are showing you the closed loops, but electric field lines, they never form the closed loops. So this is incorrect. This is, you should know the reason why you are calling it correct, why you are calling it incorrect. This is, I have again, just for the sake of revision, we are showing you the field lines because of the dipole, showing you the attraction of the unlike charges along the length. This also, for the sake of revision, I have taken that if I am having an uncharged conductor and I bring a charged conductor which is identical, same in shape and size and everything, then the charge will be distributed equally on both. On this we have done the question also. But if the bodies are non-identical, then charge is transferred from one to another till we will be able to get the common potential. We will be relating the field with the potential also in the coming lecture, and it is equals to negative potential gradient. So that is why I said there is one unit of electric field, that is volt per meter. Because potential, you have studied in class 10th also about the electric potential that you are measuring in volt. So that also we will be discussing in the coming chapters. All the things are connected, so better not to miss any lecture. Again, this is a question which is taken from your NCERT exemplar only. You have this figure with you and you have to give some answers on the basis of this. Which charges are positive? Here you can see from A the field lines are coming in the outward direction. From C also it is coming in the outward direction, and into B they are going into B. So of course A and C are positive but B is negative. So if you have to simply say which charges are positive, then of course you will be writing A and C. So here you can write A and C. And which charges has the largest magnitude? Of course C, because more lines are coming from C. And next you have to answer that yours where you are going to find the neutral point. Neutral point means where the electric field is 0. Electric field is 0. So for two positively charged lines, the electric field will be along the line joining A and C, and which is having the smaller value. A is having the smaller value, so of course it is going to lie near A point. So your answer will be A point. So here the answer will be of course A point. So more number of lines means more density, means more stronger the field is, and stronger field will be there because of the more charge. Because if you are having more charge, then only more force will be there, and more force means more field. Here of course the number of lines are more than double than A. It means A is having less magnitude than C. And if you join this line A and C, both are positively charges. We have done the numericals to find the neutral point, always lies closer to the smaller charge. So smaller charge is A, and hence it will lie closer to A. So this way, when you revise the whole thing, you will be able to understand, and that is the reason I am giving you questions along with, so that you go and do rest of the questions from your books. Your NCERT firstly you do, and then you go with the another books as well, and anytime you can come with your doubts, no such issue. And you have again taken from your NCERT, you have to sketch the electric field lines for a uniformly charged hollow cylinder. So of course field lines has to be perpendicular. But here if you see the upper view will be like this, that you can draw the upper view, then it will be simply, I'm trying to draw. It will be simply like a circle, and then from circle you can take the lines coming out. So it will be the upper view of the cylinder. But if you see the side view, it will be like this only. So you have to see the both the ways, and here you see as if the lines are closer, but they are not closer. They are like this, equally distributed in all the directions and perpendicular. But when you see the side view, it will look like this. So this is the simply the pictorial depiction for the field lines for a uniformly positively charged hollow cylinder, and of course the field lines have to move outward. If they give you negatively charged, then you have to make the lines move inward. But of course they will be always perpendicular to the surface. And this is actually not lying inside, this is lying on the surface. Charge always resides on the surface, but this is simply a method to show the things. You can draw like this, but in your mind you should be having this clarity that charge always resides on the surface of the conductor. But we cannot show all the time over it, it will not look that nice, so we are showing it like this. But if you feel comfortable showing it on the outer way this way, then also it is correct. So both the ways you can show, that is not the issue. Like here we have tried to show it this way only. So you can show this way and draw the lines perpendicular. So whatever way you can show, but meaning is should be clear in your mind that it is always residing on the surface. This is again one more question which is there with you to draw the electric field lines. Electric field lines, they are simply depicting the electric field. And if I have taken the point charge, this we have already done number of times, that it is moving outside. But if I am having an inner sphere here, then you can show because of induction there will be this negative charge will be there on the inner surface, but there will be no field here inside. So field always lies outside, but because here it is negative, here it is positive, you may show the field lines like this moving out. And if we are keeping the point charge plus q is placed at a distance r by 2, here we place the here at the center itself. Here this is the center and we are keeping it distance r by 2 from the center. Then because charges value will be more closer here, so field lines will be here more dense, showing the strong electric field. But of course they always are perpendicular, but the deviation is because of the more density only. So this is the way to depict, but in your mind you should be aware that they are perpendicular to the surface outside the conductor. And here it is simply showing you the density, how the fields are getting changed, but the direction is always from positive to negative. And here of course there is no field, because this is a conducting surface, conducting shell. So conducting shell is there, so there will be no field inside the conducting shell. And this is a reason in between where we have kept the point charge. So you should be able to draw the field lines whatever situation is coming across you. Coming to the next point with you, which was a point of confusion also with you, that what are dielectrics? Dielectrics are the insulators only, means non-conducting substances. It means in these materials we are not having any free moving electrons. So of course no movement of charge is there. So I can have my dielectrics, two types are there. One is polar, another is non-polar. Polar molecules, there we are having positive and negative charges. They are separated by some distance. And here they are lying over each other. Positive and negative are lying over each other. They are non-polar molecules. It means here for polar molecules, they are having some dipole movement. We have discussed about the electric dipoles. So it means that is the reason why we are calling it polar molecules, because they are having some dipole movement. Because positive and negative charges are separated by the very small distance, they are working like electric dipoles. And because of having electric dipoles, they are having dipole movement, and these dielectrics, they are termed as polar dielectrics. And here they are not separated by any distance, so they are termed as non-polar molecules. So both, it means I have dielectrics, I can have two type of dielectrics with me. We have already discussed the examples of dielectrics with you, glass, water, ammonia, all these we have discussed. But now what we want to study is that if I put the polar or non-polar dielectrics in the electric field, here electric field is taken as 0, it means no electric field is there. Now here I have written E is not equals to 0, it means we are putting it in some electric field. And when we put it in some electric field, they will always tend to move themselves along the direction of the electric field. So they will orient themselves. Here also, if there is no electric field, they are lying over each other. But if I put them in the electric field, they will also orient themselves in the direction of the field. According to the direction of the field, of course, positive will move in the direction, negative will move opposite to the direction. On this we have done the numericals also. So positive charge always moves in the direction of the field, negative charge always moves in a direction opposite to the field. So it means in both the cases they are orienting themselves, whether it is polar molecule or it is non-polar molecule. Again to repeat, polar molecules, center of gravity of positive and negative electrons, they are not coinciding. Examples are of course water, your HCl. Of course they are having some permanent dipole moment, that is why we are calling them polar dielectrics. In the absence, they are randomly arranged, but when you are putting it in the electric field, they align themselves in the direction of the electric field. So net dipole moment is there in the direction of the field. For the non-polar again, where the center of gravity of positive and negative charges, they are coinciding, it means your oxygen, hydrogen, CO2, polythene, polystyrene, they are the examples, and they do not have any dipole moment, but when they are kept in the electric field, then again there are induced electric movements of different molecules, and again they are giving you the net dipole moment. So here the dipole moment is because of the alignment but not induced, but here it is induced, because earlier there was no dipole moment was there. So this is the basic difference between polar dielectrics and non-polar dielectrics. Dielectrics means again the insulating bodies on which you can study the effect of the electric field. If I am having a dielectric slab, I am putting it inside the electric field, then of course negative and positive charges, they are orienting themselves to produce the induced dipole moment. This is known as polarized dielectric, because the electric field is induced. This process here for the dielectrics, we are calling it as the polarization charges, because the dielectric is getting polarized, and because of the polarization only the negative and positive charges, they are orienting themselves. Of course we will keep studying about the polarization in the coming chapter, but here if you want to see the effect in the conductor and dielectric, if they are kept under the electric field, what is the difference, then you can take it from here, that in the conductor, when the electric field is there because of the induced charges, that is equating the electric field, so the net field inside the conductor is 0. But when I am having the dielectric, then induced charges are there similar way, but the value is not equals to electric field. Directions are opposite, you can see in both the cases, because if here it is positive, then the induced charge here will be negative, and positive on the other side, same way here also, but the induced electric field will be less than the applied electric field. So net field will be here inside the dielectric. So net field, that is termed as the induced effect or polarization effect, you can say, and due to this I will be having some induced dipole moment. Like we have studied, dipole moment is the either charge into the distance between them. So all the small dipoles will be there, but this is just a general way to show, but inner view you have already seen that we are having the small molecules, there we are having the negative and positive charges separated by the small distance. So induced dipole moment per unit volume, this is termed as polarization. This is again, you can take the definition of polarization from here, that is induced dipole moment per unit volume, and we will keep studying about the related topics like susceptibility in the coming lectures. Keep things up to this. Few questions are there just to check your knowledge, because you know you will be asked with MCQ also. This is again taken from your NCERT only, that a point charge is at a distance d from the isolated conducting plane. The field at a point P on the other side of the plane. If you are putting the charge plus Q at a distance d, this diagram I have already shown to you in the previous slide, then it is of course is going to be perpendicular and outward, because positive charge it is there, so it has to be outward away from the plane. By the knowledge of simply electric field lines, you can select the answer from the given options, and the first option is correct itself, so you can answer it. Again, to check which of the following statement is correct, the electric field at a point is either always continuous, of course not, because it is not forming closed loops. It is continuous if there is a charge at that point, again no. Discontinuous if there is a negative charge at that point. We cannot say it will stop at the negative charge, that much is clear, but because of negative charge only it will be discontinuous, that is not a must situation. So discontinuous if there is a charge at that point can be taken as the correct option. Again similar question, we have to find the neutral point. If we are keeping the charges plus q and minus q are kept at a certain distance, force is acting between the two. This here the capital Q charge is kept, and you have to find, okay, the question says if I am having plus Q charge kept here, then you have to find the force and its magnitude and direction at this point, A point. So if I am keeping positive charge here, then the direction of the force because of the plus charge will be outward, it means towards right. Because of negative charge also it is coming towards right. So both the forces are coming in the same direction, A and C. Because of A and because of C, the forces are coming in the same direction, so they have to be added up. So you can simply take the formula for the force. Distance is already shown in the diagram, because they are saying it is kept in the middle. So if total distances r, you can take the distances r by 2 for both, and this charge value is q, everywhere it is q. So you can find the net force, which is coming out to be 8F, and it is in the direction of AC. It means towards the negative charge. So now you can search for the correct option. This is the C option. So your answer will be C. So this way you have to work out the things and you have to take the correct option, and this working out you can do on the rough side even, no problem. This is one more question with you, that is the unit of electric dipole moment. That is of course Coulomb meter in SI if I do right, but in CGS you should be adding it to your knowledge. It is debye, D part is correct, and 1 debye it is equals to 1 into 10 to the power minus 18 stat coulomb centimeters. Coulomb meter is the SI unit and this is the CGS unit after the name of the scientist only. It is, of course, we have discussed the relation between coulomb and stat coulomb. 1 coulomb is 3 into 10 to the power 9 stat coulomb, and this is in stat coulomb centimeter. You should know what is the importance of the dipole moment, why we are talking about dipole moment all the time. Of course, it is going to decide whether your molecule, like we have discussed dielectrics, they are polar or non-polar. Greater the magnitude, higher is going to be the polarity, and of course for non-polar molecules the dipole moment is 0. This is the physical significance of the dipole moment, which we have already discussed in detail with you, but you can add to your knowledge so that whenever it is coming you should be having clarity in your mind why we are talking about dipole moment, what is the use of this, and for what molecules it is 0. For non-polar molecules dipole moment is 0 because they are not separated. Positive and negative charges, they are not separated, so D will be 0, and when D is 0, then this mu is again the symbol of dipole moment. We can write by small p, we can write by mu as well. Both are the symbols for dipole moment, and q is the charge, D is the distance between them. This way also I can write the dipole moment, or we can write q into 2a, then D is taken as twice of a. So that is whatever way you feel comfortable you can write. There is no such hard and fast rule that you have to write as 2a only, but you should be having the basic understanding with you about the dipole moment. And of course on the basis of the knowledge of field lines we will be continuing in the next lecture with you. Thank you all.